Are you looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select two or more players, pick more or less on their projections for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/bluewire and use code BLUEWIRE. That's code BLUEWIRE at prizepicks.com/bluewire for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Support for this podcast comes from Frito-Lay and the 2023 Snack Bracket Championship. The Frito-Lay Snack Challenge is underway, and fans are voting on their favorite snacks to crown champion. We're talking about prime-time matchups between the best 64 snacks in the land. Will Ruffles Ridges reign supreme? Can Doritos defend their dynasty? Or will Smart Food use their smarts for a surprise upset? Only you can decide. Get in on all the action for a chance to win up to $1,000 or a year's worth of snacks. Let your snacks be heard. Just go to fritolaysnacket.sbnation.com to vote and enter for a chance to win. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends April 3rd, 2023. Void where prohibited. Year's worth of snacks awarded in the form of 52 coupons, each good for one bag of chips. See official rules at fritolaysnacket.sbnation.com.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to Moneyball Minute. I'm Kirk Henderson, editor-in-chief of MavsMoneyball.com, and you are joining me on Tuesday, February 28th. Thank you so much for spending part of your morning with me. It's been a while since I recorded one of these. As you guys know, we have run into some issues about whether our podcast is going to continue being hosted with SB Nation. I think that we're going to work everything out, but what that really did was take the wind out of my sails in terms of wanting to do more work. Wasn't really sure if it was going to be worth it, but frankly, I like sharing stories with you guys, and I like talking about the Dallas Mavericks, as everybody knows. I want to start this particular show by mentioning a couple of takes that I had on the recap show with Josh Bowe after the Mavericks lost to the Lakers, and on the live show that I did on Spotify Live. If you haven't listened to those yet, please go check them out. I got really frustrated and said that I think that the Mavericks should move on from Jason Kidd. Let me be clear. I still think that's something that they should do. And depending on what time you check out MavsMoneyball.com on Tuesday, there's going to be quite a lengthy piece up from our guy Brent on why the Mavericks should do just that. Now, obviously, this is just our opinion. We hold no sway, but we also did not, Brent didn't come to this decision lightly. I think there are members of our staff that disagree with him, and that's why we post varied opinions, because people share takes, and sometimes we're not going to agree with all of them, and that's certainly what I like about writing MavsMoneyball.com and covering, the Mavericks is kind of the myriad of opinions, because if we all shared the same opinion, then it wouldn't be very fun talking about this team. To draw your attention to 3 stories that were published on Mavs Moneyball on Monday, I really would like for you to, check out the show notes and go click on them and check them out, maybe share them with your friends. The first was Jordan Brodess. He wrote a piece called "The Same Maverick Flaws Have Haunted Them All Season." And it's a short story about how the problems that the Mavericks identified following the Golden State Warriors series is still a problem 60-plus games into the following season. Now, obviously, these are things we knew, but the way Jordan structures this and puts it together is something that I just happen to like. Jordan is a very good writer whenever he gets the opportunity to contribute to the site. The next piece was reported on by Doyle Rader, one of our many contributors and editors. He went to the Mavericks game, might be the last Mavericks game he gets to go to for a while because he's experiencing a big life change. And he wrote a piece called "The Mavericks Collapse to the Lakers Shows the Urgent Need for Both Players and Coaches to Get Serious." using a lot of the post-game quotes from Jason Kidd and from Luka Doncic, Doyle makes the case that Luka really needs to get his act together, which I think is something all of us would have strong opinions on. Some way, shape, or form, you probably have come to the conclusion that you wish Luka would do something different on the court in terms of his behavior. His passion also has some downsides, and we've been seeing a lot of it lately. But then Doyle also makes a point to really criticize Coach Jason Kidd, who won't take any responsibility for anything that happened in that Lakers game. He uses we, but he never says I, despite the fact that he is in charge of the 15 guys on the roster and the 9 other assistant coaches. He's the figurehead and really the guy who ultimately a lot of things are he's responsible for. And this is just the sort of measured take from a reporter like Doyle that I like. It's not something that I could write just because I get so dang mad when I start thinking about the Mavericks. Lastly, on this, on Mavs Moneyball, Josh Bowe wrote a really lengthy piece diving into the data on the defense since the Mavericks traded for Kyrie Irving. Suffice it to say, the Mavericks have been really bad on defense, which is not shocking to anybody. But doing, the thing Josh has done for years in terms of using GIFs and explaining what you're seeing on the screen, he gets into just about every single Maverick and talks about where they're really coming up short in areas that they can clean up, at least with a little bit more effort. The thing that really stuck out to me at the end was opposing teams in the last 5 games are shooting only 29% from 3, and the Mavericks are still not really playing, like they've not won games that they should have won. That's got to be a little concerning. There is some good news on the horizon, in that Maxi Kleber is apparently nearing a return to the lineup. Mark Stein covered this today. We've yet to write about it for Mavs Moneyball, but it's something that's worth your time to read about because he's pretty important to what these Mavericks team do. I think we're kind of inflating how important, or maybe things are that bleak on the defensive end that we all think that he's going to come in and save the team. After his hamstring injury, I'm a little worried, but I am looking forward to his return because I think even if he could soak up 15 minutes a game, if he was able to play against the Lakers on Sunday, maybe in those 15 minutes, the Mavericks wouldn't have gotten killed quite so much like what happened to Dwight Powell during his minutes against Anthony Davis. There's 2 more things I would like to point you to. First is a podcast that Dalton Trigg did post-game. Now, Dalton, y'all know him from DallasBasketball.com and the Step Back podcast. He does not do a lot of live reaction stuff after the game because he's got a lot of stuff to do as editor there over at Dallas Basketball. But he was mad enough after this game to record a live reaction, and it's really funny. And also, just it's good. I like it when Dalton's passionate and angry, and it was just fun. I recommend going and listening to this one. And then finally, most of you, if not all of you, are probably already Locked On Mavs subscribers. But if you haven't gone and listened to Nick and Isaac following the Lakers game, it's absolutely worth your time. They do a great job. They do stuff almost every day. It's really hard to do a daily show. And I just liked the angle that they took after a game, that it could have been very easy to point to specific things and say, oh, if just this had happened, if 1 or 2 more things had gone the Mavericks' way, we wouldn't have to be talking about these things. But they addressed a lot of the elephants in the room in terms of the defense and the effort from Luka. Along with kind of, kids' interesting post-game quotes. And I don't know, I like hearing him talk about this. I like hearing Nick and Isaac obviously have a lot of passion for the team, and that's something I can get behind because I am the same way. Well, that's where we are. Please head over to MavsMoneyball.com and read all our stories. We'll have a number of other things up during the day. The Mavericks play the Pacers tonight, which is pretty exciting. The return of Rick Carlisle to the American Airlines Center again. And I wouldn't be surprised, following Jason Kidd's call out, if Luka Doncic really comes out and puts on a show. Number 1, I think he likes beating Rick. And number 2, I think he wants to show that he is not a problem, that he is mature, that he can keep this all together. Luka's a superstar. He's a 3-time All-NBA player, soon to be 4-time All-NBA player. I think getting challenged can be a good thing, though I earnestly do wish that Jason Kidd had done it behind closed doors and not through passive aggression in the press, but it's what's done is done. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Please check out some of our recent podcasts if you missed them. And again, all of what I've talked about is in the show notes. I hope you will join us a little later tonight for our Spotify Live following the Pacers game, and look for more shows in your feed following the game. Everybody have a great Tuesday, and we'll talk soon. Go Mavs.
Today's episode is brought to you by Cars.com. With over 2 million vehicles and 50,000 more added every day, Cars.com will match you with the perfect car for you, your budget, your life, your style. And if you're ready to say goodbye to your current car, Cars.com will get you an instant offer to cash it in. Just start by entering your license plate and get matched with a local dealer who will write you the check. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, just go to Cars.com. It's magical.